The 4th century BC, 3rd and 2nd, are usually labeled Hellenism. That's Hellenism. The reason for this is that it marked the spreading of Greek culture and Greek influence. Now, in the first half of the 4th century, we have the era is dominated by Plato for us. That is the history of the European Middle Ages. Let's set dates. Now our discussion will discuss, if time allows, our discussion will include the Reformation, the Protestant Reformation. So let's say roughly the dates 1100 to 1600. So 500 years. Okay, there were many saintly people, we can tell by their writings and by descriptions of them. But perhaps we have a very distorted view of even the church at its high point. Perhaps this is pure sentimentality, self-deception. We want to believe that people were once much more devout and much more elevated than we are. Dr. Shin has invited me to talk about the 5th century BC in Greece, one of the golden ages of the world's history. And this includes the age of Pericles, probably Koreans say very well, because generally Koreans pronounce these Greek names correctly, and we in English mispronounce them. So Pericles, I'm sure you say. What should we say? So obvious, so indisputable, that the basis of a whole view of a century must be on the West, as is the case of the 19th century. Why? Because during the 19th century, basically, the Western countries, Europe and the U.S. To a smaller degree, were engaged in the word. Dr. Shin asked me, what's the word for the 19th century? Colonialism. I would say colonialism. Most historians would probably say that the 19th century should be extended to 1914 and the 20th century begin in 1914. This would be more logical. During the first years of the 20th century, what happened? Today I'm going to talk about the Enlightenment. Now, I'm developing an idea here. Probably others have thought it before, but the problem in dealing with this term Enlightenment is, I think, that it has two aspects. The first is scientific, intellectual. The second is political, intellectual. And these two have some things in common, certainly.